I'm David Brown. I'm the Director of Security Operations for Axon Technologies. We're headquarters here in Dubai. We have offices in Lebanon and in London. And we're focused as a managed cybersecurity solutions provider. So we handle the ability to take a customer's needs, identify their risk profile, develop a risk landscape for them, and then from there develop a holistic solution of providing full-featured cybersecurity solutions for them, whether it be implementing technologies, managing that technologies, or providing cybersecurity fusion centers, threat intelligence services, or incident response services as needed for our clients in the different spaces as they move through their transformations. So the major threats right now are coming from mostly a lack of cyber hygiene on the digital attack surface that organizations have. As they transition into cloud, they extend their attack surface into someone else's infrastructure that they don't control. So they lose visibility on portions of that. So what they need to do is they need to develop a way of identifying their new attack surface and managing that attack surface, bringing cyber hygiene outside of their own organization into this new environment that is the cloud in a lot of cases, and then managing that. As we see ransomware and as we see breaches happening, they're coming through these vulnerable points because technology like VPN servers, remote access servers, or even database servers are exposed and left unpatched or unprotected in these new environments. And they're beachheads that threat actors use to gain access into the internal networks. Of course, yeah. So the more you extend that attack surface, like I just said, the more complicated it becomes, the more difficult it comes to manage. You need to look at how to organize that, how to control that, and more importantly, how to gain visibility in that. The more visibility you have into an environment, the more security you have in that environment. One of the things they tend to lose is customer data. That's the number one thing that gets out there. It's also the one that's being used to extort organizations more than anything else, is the fact that if you're a medical facility and you have medical data on people, that being leaked is critically impacting people's lives. If you're a power company and you lose people's ability to have electricity in their homes, customer data is the number one thing taken and the number one thing held for ransom. The next is going to be your internal IP. If you're an oil company, your exploration reports, things that determine your net value of how much oil you have in the ground versus how much you can produce. If that's stolen, you've lost your marketability in that area. So the major kind of threats are going to be those vulnerable access points coming in. You're going to see most likely a two-point attack. You're going to have one threat actor who gains the access into your environment, who once they determine your potential worth, then sells that access to someone else, like a ransomware syndicate, or even potentially on the dark market to state actors or other people who could use that for either corporate espionage or geopolitical espionage. Once they have that in there, now they're deploying their own custom tool sets or their ransomware. They're exfilling and they're extorting, right? Because again, you're going to see two different things happening. The original point of access normally happens through one type of threat actor who then sells that to a secondary one, and that's where the real danger comes in. So, like I said earlier, we develop a holistic point. We look at the entire attack surface, we look at the threat profile, and from there we create a three-prong. We have an alert-centric model, a discovery-centric model, and a proactive. So we have our CDAs, our cyber threat analysts, working in an alert fashion. Technology stacks provide alerts back from correlated events. They handle that. We have our PTAs, proactive threat analysts. They actively search for discoveries of items that are not part of the alert-centric model. That's threat hunting. Then we have our proactive. Those are our threat intelligence analysts who are looking at the threat landscape. They've developed generic general intelligence requirements, priority intelligence requirements, and organizational specific intelligence requirements. Each one of those is scored differently, and as they identify things that meet those are handed to either the proactive threat analyst or the cyber defense threat analyst for either reactionary or proactive measures.